It is day one of my yoga teacher training course here in beautiful Bali. I am so excited to be sharing this journey with you. I want to document as much as possible on video so you can see what it's going to be like if it's something you're thinking of doing or if it's just something you're interested in watching. This afternoon we are all having to dress in white, meet by the pool and go and have the opening ceremony to start off this wonderful journey. It's an intensive yoga teacher training course. It's the YTT 200 and I cannot wait to get started. I have already met so many beautiful people here already and I am going to share with you what I can along the way. But first, let me give you a room tour. Just heading to the opening ceremony. Our opening ceremony was a beautiful introduction to the start of the course. I experienced my first water purification ceremony, followed by a group dance and all the information for my first week as a trainee yoga teacher.
Take me down to the river.
One of the elements of yoga is of course asana practice. I would make my way from my room every morning before sunrise to practice yoga asanas in the shalas. Morning practice lasted 2 hours and 45 minutes. Afternoon practice lasted 3.5 hours, but this also included working in more detail on alignment, adjustments and teaching practice. Each week the style of yoga changed as it was a multi-style course. The first week was Hatha Yoga, second week Vinyasa and the third week was Ashtanga. On one of the mornings I even got to experience acro yoga on a nearby beach. Shala is a Sanskrit word meaning home. It's where we all gathered for our classes. There were 2 shalas, which we alternated between. So some afternoons we were in one shala, yet the next morning we would experience it again, but in darkness. Good morning and welcome to the Sky Shala in Bali. This is the view from one of the sides. I mean, we are literally just in the jungle here. It is incredible. We have got the sunscreen's down here because the sun comes from this side, and I learned very early on not to have your mat there on a morning because at sunrise you just sweat. It is dreadful. And then over here we have more jungle. We have a wonderful little shrine down there. I mean, who wouldn't want to do yoga in a place like this? I'm going to turn the camera around and show you the shala itself. Now, in a class, there has normally been about 25 to 26 of us, and we all kind of sit on the floor using the bolsters that you can see over there, and all face the board here, or the projector screen, which is where the teacher normally stands. We get taught philosophy, we get taught anatomy, and here is Stan, who has been helping us learn more about the body. I mean, and this, oh, I have to show you this. This is where all the geckos decide to congregate during the day, and they poo on whoever is in the middle of the class, which I have had the pleasure of wiping off my mat during the day. One girl even had the pleasure of a gecko landing on her, because apparently when it gets too hot in the afternoon, they just drop from the sky, which has been quite entertaining. What else can I say about this wonderful place? It is just amazing. It gets quite hot sometimes. Obviously, we are in Bali. It is very, very warm. We have bug spray, which has been a must because my legs are, of course, covered in mosquito bites, despite being covered in sprays and lotions. It has just been so amazing. So this is one of the shalas here at this place. There is also another one down by the river, which you will have seen on other clips as well. But I think this one's my favourite. It just feels lighter. You can still hear the river below, and it's not as far to go on a morning. You have to climb down over 120 steps to get to the one by the river. So when you have to do that twice on a morning, it can be pretty exhausting. Oh, my time here has been incredible. There's been so many different classes in here. There's been adjustments, there's been alignments, anatomy, philosophy. We've had group circles where we've all gathered around and done candle meditations. One of my favourites that I have to admit that I've enjoyed during my time here is yoga nidra, and that was with our philosophy teacher. And you basically lie down for about half an hour, and he talks you through a guided meditation, and you have to concentrate on certain parts of your body, but you're not allowed to sleep. You have to try and stay awake. It's that thing between awake and sleep. I managed it on every occasion, but it was very funny at the end of a lot of the classes, turning around and just seeing everybody fast asleep. That was highly entertaining. Down by the river was the Peshaman Shala. Although further away and a lot more stairs to reclimb, it was a special place, especially during meditation practice, as the sounds from the river were amplified during the stillness. Where do I start when it comes to the meals? I was in vegan food heaven. I class myself as a pretty good cook, but they did things with tofu and tempeh I would never have thought of. 3 delicious vegan and vegetarian meals were provided each day in a buffet style with so many different options. And sometimes at lunch, there were even mini treats. Every teacher was inspiring, knowledgeable, passionate, and also knew when we needed to get out of our heads and just enjoy a moment of fun. There's more to yoga than you realise. The school actively encourages karma yoga, the dedication of work as an offering without personal gain or reward. Every individual spent time doing a beach clean-up. I attended a cacao ceremony which had been arranged to foster the grounding and heart-opening properties of cacao whilst enjoying the coming together with my fellow students. I had the opportunity to take part in an ice bath challenge, putting my pranayama, breathwork, skills into practice. What I didn't realise was there were several rounds where it got colder each time. The look on my face says it all. One evening was dedicated to Bhakti Yoga, involving a group singing session known as Kirtan, which are said to contain a transformative power and healing energy. On another evening, we practiced a very unusual form of meditation.
So today I would like you to speak for 5 minutes without language, emptying the mind. I will show you the monkey mind will leave you alone because monkey don't know what happened. Monkey don't know what happened to my owner. How my owner is speaking like this suddenly. All the time I'm speaking and my owner is listening me, and now what are the sounds? Monkey will simply jump from the balcony. That's it. So when we do gibberish, laughter will come. So let's chase the monkey away. As you hear sound of a bell, express it out.
My intention when I got here in Bali to do my yoga teacher training in the amazing jungle, as you can see behind me, was initially to vlog my entire journey, share all my experiences, try and film most days, talk to camera, but life sometimes just doesn't work out like that. I got here, I remember doing my little opening speech before I went to the ceremony. I was all dressed in white, I was all very excited to meet everybody, and I literally have not spoken to the camera since, and it has now been 3 weeks. I have come to nearly the very end of my training course. I did my practical exam yesterday and passed with flying colours, and today I've got my written exam, and then it is all over and I can't believe it. I actually graduate tomorrow. I wanted to sit down and share a few thoughts with you today because I'll probably be too emotional tomorrow and it'll be very busy, and it's a day where we have a free morning for once here in the training course because our written exam is at 10 a.m. Every other morning we've been getting up at 5 and then starting lessons just before 6 and working all the way through till about 6:15 every night, having dinner, then going to bed. So being able to talk has been very difficult. I want to share the fact that this journey has not just been yoga teacher training, it has been so much more than that. I came here expecting to learn all the things I need to learn to be able to teach a yoga class and learn how to adjust somebody, learn the different styles of yoga because I've specialised here in 3 types, the Hatha, Vinyasa, as well as Ashtanga. It has been very intense, which I expected it to be. I knew I'd be learning anatomy and I knew I'd be learning philosophy. I'd also knew I was going to be learning things about meditation and breathing techniques. But this course has gone so much beyond all of this. It's opened my eyes to a completely different aspect of what yoga is all about. It's far beyond just sitting on your mat here doing asana practice. This is just a very small part of yoga, and I never fully appreciated that before I started on this journey, and for that I will always be grateful for my time in Bali, because I think it changes you from the inside. Obviously from the outside I am covered in bruises, I am sore every morning. I get out of bed thinking, how am I going to make it to the Shala, never mind how am I going to make it through another yoga class or a couple of hours of yoga class that morning. But it changes you from within. It makes you realise what being a yogi is all about. It's not about being able to get into fancy poses for Instagram. It's not about competing with the girl on the mat next to you to see if you can bend a little bit further. It's about inner wisdom and how you treat others. It's about community. It's about detaching the mind from the body to be able to observe thoughts rather than let thoughts control you. It's about understanding people. It's about understanding yourself. There is so much history in yoga, and the philosophy classes have opened my eyes to even deal with things in life very differently when I get home, how I approach things, how I view things. The anatomy side of the learning was not something that was too new for me. I have a history in a bit of a medical background, so that was very enlightening to know how the muscles work in the different postures. I did find that really interesting. The breath work for me has been something that I never realised the power of breath until I came here. I have done some breath work before in yoga classes previously. I know how to breathe, I know a few of the different techniques and the effects that they have on you, whether it's cooling and calming or energising and restorative. But what I didn't appreciate was the power of the breath, and that came about in one of the ice bath challenges that we did. Knowing that you can put your body through an awful lot of stress, but you can get your body through it by controlling your mind and your breath with that body connection. And until that moment, I never appreciated how much my breath could control a situation, which I think is going to be so fascinating to experience in real life when problems come along or things come along that are difficult to handle. Just taking a step back and breathing in a certain way is going to be able to help enrich my life so much more, and just know it. Another reservation I had before I got here was meditation. It was something I couldn't do. I literally came in to this training course thinking, I am dreading the meditation side of things. I can't sit still, I can't keep my mind still. I literally have monkey brain all the time. I'm constantly thinking of different things, and the idea of sitting down and not thinking, it was so alien to me. But I've learnt so many different techniques. Meditation doesn't have to be sitting there thinking or not thinking about certain things. It can be active meditation. We have done some crazy things, from dancing around, moving your body for 15 minutes, to then shaking it for 15 minutes. I've also done a meditation where you talk gibberish, where you literally not speak your language, you just talk but don't use real words for 15 minutes straight. And I loved how the meditation man that led the session said the monkey in your brain will think, what on earth has happened to my owner, and literally jump over to the railings and cling on for dear life thinking, what's going on, I'm confused. We've also done meditations such as candle gazing, so fixed eye gazing, and then simply putting your arm in front out of you, staring at your thumb, and it's also classed as a cleansing technique. I honestly can't put into words the amount of things that I have learnt while I've been here, and I'm sure I'm going to continue learning so much more as each day, each month, each year passes. Being a yoga teacher isn't just about doing your basic course and then going off and teaching students. It's a lifelong journey of self-exploration, learning about the history and the philosophy, learning about different techniques to help students, and just being able to share as much wisdom as possible to people in the future, and that is something I am so very excited for. I have come here this morning, sat on my mat, I have done an hour of yoga as the sun rose behind me. It was dark when I got here this morning. And this was kind of my last practice here, I think, because tomorrow, like I said, I graduate. We go off, I think, to some rice terraces, get my graduation, and then I leave this beautiful place where I have lived for the last 3 weeks. And there's going to be part of me that's sad to go, but I feel like I'm ready to go. I feel I'm definitely ready for home. I miss my husband, I miss my cat, I miss my family, and I really miss hiking as well. I have been contained in an area where it's dark when we get to class and it's dark when we finish class on a night. So I've not been able to go for any daily walks. I do have a hike planned for after this trip. Before I go home, I am going to be hiking up to the second highest mountain here in Bali, Mount Batur, at sunrise. So I'll be setting off at 2:30 in the morning, hiking up to the top, which I'm so excited about. And it's going to be my reward to myself for how far I've come in just 3 weeks. And I've just had the most amazing time. If anyone's thinking of doing their yoga teacher training, I would highly recommend Bali. It is a wonderful place to come and do it. And I will put all the details in the description below for this journey that I've been on and where you can find out where you can go. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will look forward to seeing you in the next one. Goodbye.